You went live with a Bible on the shelf, but the venom in your voice betrayed yourself. Said you pray every night, walk the righteous lane, but you weaponize lawsuits just to inflict pain. You don't preach forgiveness, you preach revenge, counting sleepless nights like a dividend. Told the world you'd stay in our lives forever. Decades of suffering, you said whatever. Over critics, over words, over streams and views, all because the truth cut deeper than you knew. You call it justice, we call obsession, a courtroom crusade fueled by aggression.
You say love thy neighbor, but you curse his name.
Wear the cross,
but you play the blame.
If faith is a lie,
why walk so grim?
This ain't the voice of a Christian heart. This is fixation tearing souls apart. Wishing decline on a man's mental health, calling him stupid lame to an audience for wealth. If grace is real, then where's yours been? All I hear is vengeance dressed as sin. You want us to suffer night after night, but darkness can't preach about the light.
You don't walk in faith, you walk in spite. Preach the word, but you weaponize the fight.
Hands to the sky, but your heart stays cold. Selling vengeance while you're preaching gold. You want pain, you want scars, you want tears in the night, but truth don't bow to a self-crowned light. So keep that cross if it's just for show.
God sees the hate that you let grow.
You don't walk in faith, you
Walk in spite.
preach the word, but you weaponize the fight. Hands to the sky, but your heart stays cold. Selling vengeance while you're preaching gold. If grace is real, then where's yours been? All I hear is vengeance dressed as sin. You want us to suffer year after year, but God don't traffic in hatred and fear. You don't walk in faith, you
Walk in spite.
You say critics inserted into your life, so you sharpen lawsuits like ceremonial knives. But truth ain't slander and critique ain't crime, and obsession exposes itself in time. You promise sleepless nights is your decree, but the only chains forged are the ones we see. A man so consumed with proving he's right, he's lost every trace of spiritual life.
Nothing to be.
Forgive the sinner,
Release the pain.
but you call down fire in Jesus' name.
Mercy, mercy, where has it gone?
When did revenge become your song? Grace was the message, peace was the way, but you chose wrath when critics spoke today. You can't preach heaven while wishing hell, can't ring church bells while you cast that spell. Faith ain't fury, truth don't lie. God knows the heart behind the cry. Not the words of a Christian soul, not the path that makes hearts whole. Light don't live where hatred grows and judgment comes. God only knows.
This ain't the voice of control. Wishing told, control. You preach salvation while wishing it climbed.
That contradiction speaks louder than mine. So keep your lawsuits, your threats, your fight, but stand in truth, you stand in spite. And when history judges what you've begun, it'll show obsession, not God, had won. Love thy neighbor, release the pain. Truth stands longer than vengeance and shame.
Super Dave, slicing through the haze, from the depths of drama to brighter days. YouTube stage, commentaries. Super Dave, jester of truths. In a world of lies, he's got proof. In a world of clowns, he wears the crown. Climbing high in his digital sky, Milltown's best, his battle cry. Milltown's best, his battle cry. Recovering addict, but he's no saint. Extending a hand with no restraint. Artistic pride with a smirk so bold. Plain rage, shadow legends while the stories are told. From the jaws of addiction he emerged. From under the bridge, making other men splurge. Making other men splurge. Super Dave, jester of truths. In a world of lies, he's got proof. In a world of clowns, he wears the crown. Climbing high in his digital sky, Milltown's best, his battle cry. Milltown's best, his battle cry. The legend of Super Dave shall never die. The legend of Super Dave shall never die. Light is out for Super Dave, he's our guy. He's our guy. Because Milltown's best, his battle cry.
What's going on, everybody? Have you missed me? I know there's some people that miss me out there. So much so that they just love to talk about Super Dave. It's 9 a.m., guys, here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's Monday. I believe it is the 9th of March. 9th of March. And I see Maggot is in the chat. Good to see you, Maggot. Good to see Tank Girl, who was also here. I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling absolutely amazing. I have a lot I want to talk about. And you guys may think, oh, he's going to unload on us. No, relax, guys, relax. I have to speak firstly on the amount of amazing sleep I've been getting. I have been sleeping amazing. Isn't that shocking? The cortisol levels must be pretty low. Maggot says my birthday is the 17th and they're going to be 34. At least you're not my age, Maggot. You could be way older. You could be my age. I'm creeping in on 40. And yeah, I'm not enjoying it. So much so that my body was telling me, hey man, if you still eat and behave like you're a 17, 18-year-old pudgy guy, you're not long for this world. So I've made some corrective changes and I'm continuing to work on them. And I'll tell you what, my blood pressure has been absolutely amazing since changing the way I eat, eating pretty clean and everything like that. Very, very high protein, low carb. I'm happier. I'm really, truly happier. Now, some people are saying, well, that's just because you got an R&R in your favor. An R&R is a report and recommendation. That's absolutely all it is. So I'm attributing my good sleep and everything to the fact that I'm living life in the way I know my parents would be proud. I want to be living my life this way. I'm genuinely at a point in my life where I can say I love myself. And for a long time, I couldn't say, hey, I'm happy with myself. I'm no longer avoiding mirrors. And that's a very common thing for people that suffer with depression. They don't want to acknowledge themselves. They don't want to acknowledge how they're looking or anything like that. And while I've been having a lot of personal struggles and personal ordeals going on in my life, I'm not letting those define me. Notice I'm not sitting here making content about what's going on in my personal life. Because honestly, some things are good. It's okay to keep some things private. That is okay. You don't have to, just because you do an online stream, it does not mean every aspect of your life needs to be blurted out, farmed essentially for sympathy, views, and whatnot. I see so many people farming a lawsuit, right? They're farming a lawsuit that they're not involved in, but sure easily could be involved in a lawsuit of their own and might actually be at some point. And they're sitting there farming, right? And the funniest part, I sit here and I shake my head. And I'm like, the stuff that some of these channels are doing, I was way more mild than half of these channels, right? With my critique and my commentary, I was like, in some cases, 80% more mild with my commentary and critique. And I still was able to get a lawsuit against me. You can't control people who have a lawyer and have hurt egos. You can't control them. But it's funny to me that these people who think they're invincible think that they're so quick to cast stones on my commentary and my critique. When if what they said was true, there would be so many content creators that would have cases against them. And it amazes me that they don't see this, right? It amazes me that some people are so stupid, right? And they're so quick to call me the stupid one, right? They're so quick to call me the stupid one, right? And they don't even look at the court record, right? They don't even look at the court record. And I'm the stupid one. They're so quick to make assumptions and accusations when some people don't even know how to adjust for currency for their country. But instead of common sense, doing a simple Google search, let's make a witty and funny post, right? And let's see here. Let's see what we can do here. Let's call Dave stupid. We'll make fun of poop. We'll also say bait. Hold on, guys. Sorry, guys. Never really used this. Got me pulling out new equipment on you guys that I've had forever and haven't used. Bait and switch. Sorry, guys. I was muted. Somebody asked if I have a pet. And my brother has a cat. So by saying that, I like to say, yeah, I love that cat. So yeah, I have a cat. Um, I'm sorry to go off on that. Did I fix it? I should have fixed it now, guys. I got all heated up and I pressed my mute button. Um, I have viewers, right? I don't check these snark sites, right? That's all they are. They're snark fake Facebook pages. And that's a sign that a content creator is doing something right, in my opinion. If you have a snark Facebook page, and snark basically means detractors, haters. It's a big thing. It's real big on Reddit. Snark Facebooks are real big. Or snark Reddits are real big. And the boomers, and I'm sorry, I'm not offending anybody. I'm trying not to offend anybody, but if you're a boomer, instead of using Reddit, you use Facebook, right? So Facebook has snark pages, and there are snark pages. And there are some besties who go to those pages. I don't know why they do. I don't, right? And I was alerted that people are making accusations about me. And I wasn't going to even address this. And all I'm going to say is common sense dictates. I live in America. If you live in Australia or Canada, adjust for your currency. YouTube does it automatically. Simple as that. Um, Not one member has said anything about membership prices changing. They haven't. I checked from a friend's account, and same as thing, $4.99. I checked my YouTube Studio just to see if they tried sneaking any fees in. No, $4.99. So this is the only time I'm gonna address it. Um, Australian mischief makers. That's all it is. They can't understand that I'm here and I'm trying to pivot my channel away from their bullshit, right? I'm not playing their game. But when you're going to try to tell lies about the way that's helping me eat, I have to address that. I have to. That's just simple as that. My business, my YouTube channel, while it's not enough to live any kind of good life, I don't need much in life. I budget accordingly. So my finances are nobody's concern, so I should never have to adjust this. Maggot says, I've learned is you got to be real cautious about people bringing rumors and drama out about yourself. Usually they don't have the best intent. And I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more, especially when it's coming from a snark page. And the sheer fact that I haven't made content, right, about my lawsuit, about this YouTuber, or about any of his sycophants for the longest time. And I don't want to. I don't want to. Let the court record speak for itself. Let the court record speak for itself. These people are showing malicious intent, in my opinion. I'm a pro se litigant, right? Going up against a $400 an hour alleged attorney, right? Who has been moving nonstop against me, whether it's for sanctions for Rule 11 violations or fees for service or this, and that. Check the record. Check the record. Who's losing and who's winning, according to motions. And I'm not rubbing it in. I'm not saying anything, but I'm doing this by myself. There's no civil conspiracy except for my album that's going to be dropping soon, which we'll talk about shortly. And I find it funny that these people would rather listen to a YouTuber who, if you pull up their social blade, their views have been decreasing exponentially over the past year and a half, maybe, since they've started a campaign of hate, harassment, and everything, which, again, everything I say on this stream, my opinion. Super Dave's opinion. David Teschendorf, if you've seen how he really likes to dox me now, everything I say is my opinion. So if I feel that there is a harassment campaign out against me for making videos about my local court and local news, you people in Australia, you people in Canada are out of your fucking minds. Seriously. I I just sit there and I'm just like,
You serious?
like serious. And I know I'm out here and they're gonna say, "Oh, Dave's crashing out. Dave's crashing out." Dave has held a lot in, right? I hold a lot in, right? But when people try to pull shit, like thinking I would do something to bait and switch my viewers, right? Those who actually watch my channel know how much my viewers care to me, right? They know that. Every single click I get, I work for. I do the research. I study, which is why I think some bigger YouTubers hate me because I can call bullshit from a mile away. I've been studying YouTube since about 2008. I've seen the algorithms change. I've seen the trends change. I've seen it all. And I think that is why some people truly hate me. Bottom line is I have never once had anybody complain about my memberships. Could I be doing more content on my memberships? Absolutely. I could be doing more content in general. And I will be doing more content in general. But when there is personal life shit going on and there's stuff that's making it harder to make your typical content, I just have to go with the flow, right? I just have to go with the flow. People talk about the Discord. The Discord is what it is, right? Nobody's complained to me. I'm trying my best. I'm not a Discord user. My ideal thought is to find somebody who can monitor and actually take control of the Discord, right? I'm doing the best I can. With federal litigation looming, a crazy asshole who's promising me sleepless nights for the rest of my life, right? For asking him to do some self-reflection. Oh, and I said I was a fan of his son, Jason. I said I was his number 1 fan. Because of that, because I asked him to do some self-reflection, and I called him an asshole, and I said he's not acting very Christian. I'm promised sleepless nights forever. Any sane person, right? Any person of sound mind would look at this person and say, "What the fuck? No wonder you haven't broke yet." I have almost broke twice, right? And I'm just being real. I wasn't gonna even talk about all this, and I'm gonna change topics soon. I promise you guys. I promise you guys. I've almost broke twice from this man and his harassment. No lie. No lie. I don't see. I'm struggling what I should say and what I shouldn't even say because I'm not gonna enable these snark channels, right? I'm not. Linda Life says, "We know that you'll catch up on your streaming once the period of hell is over." And it is what it is. Yes, that's my absolute plan, guys, and I'm keeping it real. And I caught a little bit of Two Leaves in a Pod stream from yesterday, I think it was, and they said, "We're moving on." And I think that's the best thing that anybody can do, right? Because if you move on, you stop feeding the lunatic, and more specifically, the lunatic's fans, right? And again, lunatic is an opinion. I I've done all I can, right? I've had my brother's address put out to the world. I've had people fucking messaging family members all over my YouTube content, right? I've had a creator get into my psyche and start playing games, right? And you've heard Lisa talk a little bit about this in her stream yesterday, where she's Lisa is questioning whether somebody is pointing a device at her house listening to her phone calls. Now, if that is not a signal that this guy is doing mental damage to her brain, that he is actually affecting her psyche and harassing her, right? If that is not a clear sign of harassment, that she is thinking that this guy is listening through wall or hiring people to listen through walls, I don't know what is clearer signs of somebody who is in distress, bothered, and feels harassed, stalked, and intimidated. I know that feeling. I know that feeling of every time I walk past my brother's downstairs neighbors and I go, "Oh, how long is this gonna get back to Jeremy? What is Jeremy gonna hear now?" It's crazy. The games that people are playing with your mind. And I can't speak for Florida law, but I can damn sure speak for Wisconsin law that harassment and cyber stalking basically only requires the feeling that I feel afraid of this person. I feel terrified of this person due to one of their actions. That's all Wisconsin law requires. Now notice I haven't went that far cuz I just want this to stop, right? I just want to go on and make my videos and get my little bit of views and hopefully build my channel up organically. I don't need a YouTuber like Jeremy Hales. I don't need to shit talk people anymore. Today, we're going to be talking about bigger YouTubers than Jeremy Hales. Let's get that straight. Miss Lori says the power you have is how you react and how you allow yourself to feel about it. One can be aware or call it paranoia. Change is wording. Yeah, I agree. I just found it fascinating that Lisa was speaking to this, right? And that was about as genuine as I've heard Lisa in a long time. When she said, "I genuinely question myself. Are they listening to my conversations?" Think about that. That is a sign that you are intimidated. When you have to question stuff like that, and normally you don't, nor you're not schizophrenic, you're not any mental, challenge like that, and you are seriously questioning whether you are being monitored because somebody is making YouTube content and making you feel that way and having uh through implication in my opinion their viewers monitor through, and it feels implied in a real weird way. The sheer fact that he can't just go back to his content amazes me. It amazes me. He can do it Monday through Saturday, essentially, while still throwing his digs in there, which, okay, throw your digs in there. That's part of your life. Okay. But when it comes to Sunday, which is supposed to be the Lord's day, it's like gloves are off and you just go hamburger. No need for that. No need for that whatsoever. I feel bad for Lisa. I feel bad for all of us. If you guys notice, Ray has really cut back on his streaming. I imagine it has a lot to do with stress. I imagine it has a lot to do with the nonstop fuckery. To want for a better word, Linda says Lisa is a very strong woman and very logical, but because Jay and all the minions and it's not odd that she might begin to questioning things. I just found it a sign. I was like, okay, because like I said, I know what that feeling is like, right? When you walk outside your door and you feel like you're being watched. Why? Because a YouTuber made a video that has over 30,000 views saying, "Hey, I'm watching you." That's why. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. So, with all that being said, I don't want to talk about this, guys. The lawsuit's going to speak for itself, right? Hopefully, we'll get answers from Judge Hinkle soon, and hopefully, this is just done, right? I can't control what that guy's going to do from the future on. So, me fixating on it and losing sleep over it like he wants me to do, it's going to do nothing, right? I'm not a fan of people claiming I would cheat my viewers. I would never. I would never. The sheer fact I have a membership tier anyways is for the sheer fact is it helps keep me running and it helps keep this channel running. And that's what every other YouTuber does. Okay? That simple as that. Simple as that. I would never intentionally bait and switch anybody. Now that that's done, guys, I want to speak one last thing about a project I've been working on. As you guys know, I love my music. That is the way how I've been dealing, right, with all of this nonsense, okay? I've been dealing with all of this craziness through me writing songs, and sometimes I'll post them, but most of the time I won't post them. Cuz I'm not trying to stir the pot, right? I'm not. I don't want to rub shit in. I don't want to do any of that. But I write songs. Some people have gotten my songs about certain things that have happened. But I assure you, since the very beginning of this whole ordeal, I have been following or writing songs and keeping them in a folder, right? I've been making artistic renderings of all the lyrics. And when this case ends, everybody, I'm preparing to release a free album. It's going to be a digital download. And this is the first mock up of it. This is the cover of the first mock up. And it's called Civil Conspiracy, the $500,000 Obsession, right? And it's going to be a free download. And it's basically, as it says here, a federal defendant's thoughts and feelings soundtrack. And the title is still in working and everything, but it's going to be over 20 some songs, completely free to download. Tips will be accepted. Just there will be a tip jar there if you feel moved to throw a tip, and a portion of those tips will go to the Milwaukee Street Angels. For those of you guys who know, that is the nonprofit I choose to have this channel support, because when I was homeless, when I was really down and out, the Milwaukee Street Angels were there for me. So I will give back to them forever. So this free album is basically, it tracks from my first content I've ever made, right? It goes through everything, the serving process. It goes through my feelings, through everything. There's a song about the report and recommendation. There's a song about everything, right? And when this is all said and done, I'm packaging it all up and it will be available for free to download. And I hope you guys enjoy it, because this CD, through music, through feelings, it's going to express everything I've been feeling through the genre, through the lyrics, through everything. It's going to sum up how I felt throughout all this. And yes, it's in a very emotional journey. It takes you on a roller coaster. And we're not even finished yet. So this album could have a whole different ending than I think it's going to have. So I hope you guys enjoy that when it comes out. And that's just a quick little side project that I'm putting out for fun. It doesn't take much work. I've been making these songs anyways. And I'm excited, and I hope you guys enjoy them. There's some really funny songs on there. There's some sad songs on there. There's some songs of despair and feelings of hopelessness on there. There's some feelings of joy. And there's feelings of confidence at some points. Some people say that once this is all over, I'll look back on it and I'll say, hey, this was something I learned from, and it makes you stronger. And I hope that's true. I genuinely hope that's true. Miss Lori says, control that feeling. That's your power. You know you have that. He doesn't. Amen. Amen. Linda Life says, I'm sure that you do age difference. Your taste in music and mine is it's all different genres, Linda. I mean, there's some reggae on there. There's actually there's like I don't want to call it like Celtic, but there's like Celtic music on there, gospel on there. I think there's like 2 rap songs. I have it's just all different genres because that's the great thing about music, right? Is it makes you feel different things. I hope there was, the couple songs that I've released on my channel will be on there. Uh, you know, the Scumbag Parade is on there. There's a lot on there. Like I said, it's gonna be several songs, and I'm having fun. This is the way how when I read a court ruling and I hear quotes in that ruling, first thing I do is I open my notepad and I just start, it's a poem essentially, right? And then you put the poem to this AI prompt, and then you can tell it how you want it to sound and what kind of vibes you want it to have, and it's awesome, right? And it's all paid for, so I have the rights to release it. Everything's all the licensing, everything's all handled, so I can do this. And like I said, it's a free album anyways, and I'm only accepting tips because this is more about me expressing feelings than anything. And that's why artists and musicians write, because it's an outlet. This this was my original outlet. Writing videos, making videos, talking about YouTubers that I watched. That was my escape until somebody just got butthurt and couldn't let the little guy just be. Couldn't let the little guy be little. As you can see, I'm not growing exponentially. I'm just me. Super Dave is Super Dave. Through all this, my mental health well-being has become public fodder and everything. This YouTube isn't the escape it once was anymore. While I still find so much joy in making my videos, I find more joy in reading the comments from the people who enjoy my videos or who engage in the actual content. When I was talking about the judge who was so mad about his courtroom smelling like pot, and the messages I got about that made my day. When I'm talking about the youth crime problem in my city, and I get messages from people talking about, "Yeah, we have it here too. It's a problem here as well." Eh, that's what I'm in this for now. I still get pleasure filming. I still get immense pleasure editing. I find so much satisfaction in editing. Tinkering with my equipment, I love it, right? I love it. But what I don't like, right, is worrying that somebody's gonna misinterpret something. And I keep saying this to people I talk to for mental health reasons, and they keep saying, "You can't control their reactions." And I can't. I can only control how I react. And yes, I'd say half the time as of late, I'm doing really good. I'm doing really good. Could I do better? Always. Content creators can always do better. I think, in my opinion, the person that's suing me, if he had the ability to just turn off the snark pages, if he had the ability to just filter out the people that don't like him, he'd be so much more successful. I really think that. Just an opinion. What did I miss here in the comments? Linda says that guy is very jealous of your talent. It's quite obvious. I will I'll be honest. At the very beginning of this, right? At the very beginning, the first video I ever made about that guy was positive. I actually said he could be the mayor of Otter Creek, right? That was the very first video I ever made. But I'm not an ass kiss, right? I'm not. So the second video, I noticed what was going on and him calling out Turtle Lady at the time. She was Turtle Lady at the time. And I just called out how I saw it. Like, this is inappropriate. Diagnosing one of your viewers is not appropriate. And I made a video. And we had an email exchange back then. And I've shared.
Thanks for the dono.
Oh, wow.
Your first tip for your album.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you. I got a song I want you to hear. I'll email it to you, and you might find it funny. That means a lot to me, John. Thank you. Oh, that took me out of my spot. Oh, okay. So our whole email exchange was overtaken, right? And then I got messages from his minions, right, telling me this, telling me that. And I said in the email exchange with that creator, try working with a small creator, right? Try working with a small creator instead of against them, right? That was my direct quote in the email exchange I had with him. And it was like early 2023. I said, why don't you try working with somebody, a small creator, instead of against them? All he would have had to have done and said, you know, you're right. You have every right. We could have talked, right? We could have just had a civil exchange, and I most definitely wouldn't have got upset about a DMCA. I wouldn't have took it as personally as I took it, or as personally as he took my critique, right? Neither one of us would have had to have took it as personally as we took it. And that's a bottom line, in my opinion. He overreacted. I overreacted because I was a brand new commentary creator who was just about to get partnered at that time. I think I was only like maybe 200 subs away from being partnered at that time. And I felt like that DMCA was going to do so much damage to me. Did it do damage? Yeah, because there was more that followed and it became a whole ordeal with him after that. But I look back on all this, right? I look back on all this and I said, all he could have done is said, hey, man, let's work this out. And none of this would have ever happened. Still to this day, do you guys know I pray for him every single night? I don't pray that he drops this or does this. I pray that the man finds peace. I pray that the man finds peace. That's it. Do I have a right to express how I feel? Yeah, and I'm going to. Do I have a right to give commentary? Yeah, and I'm going to. I don't care if it's to one person or 100,000 people. I have that right. He could have just come talking to me. He could talk to Leslie. He could talk to all these other people. But he couldn't come talk to me. He thought I was a target. I feel that way. I feel that he looked at me as a target. Now, at that time, did he know about my diagnosis, my mental health, or anything like that? Probably not. Probably not. But once he dug in, he's not one to dig out. He what do they say? He's in for a penny, he's in for a pound. With me, he got a lot of pounds. And then when it came out about my mental health and everything like that, he could have easily said, whoa, maybe I overreacted. Maybe something's off here, right? Let me try this. He never did, which, in my opinion, speaks a lot more to his character. Because here I am. I was willing to sit down with the man before he started all this and have a meal and talk like adults. And I'm still that man who's sitting here willing to have a conversation with him and tried to figure out where this all went wrong. Will I ever think the man is a good guy? I think he has done good things. I can't tell you what his motivation behind it was because I'm not him. But from his actions towards me and my loved ones, those are actions of an evil person. Those are actions of somebody full of hatred, full of full-blown hatred. And these side channels, they don't understand half of it. They haven't got involved in this till the third quarter. You know, I was talking with Marla. I asked Marla if she'd be interviewed because nobody's heard from Marla Hughes about all this. Nobody has. Marla has agreed to an interview. This has went on for a while, since 2023, and nobody ever speaks. They're so quick to paint Miss Preston and John as these bad guys, right? But nobody takes into consideration that whatever they said back then, first of all, it was about a public figure, right? And it was on a private Facebook group with like 90 members at one point. Those Facebook groups, those snark groups, those Otter Creek groups, they didn't grow until that YouTuber promoted them. Until he started making content about them. That is when viewership or subscriptions on these Facebook groups really got out of hand, right? Ray in chat, good morning, Ray. Linda says, well, you focus on improvement mentally, physically. He can only focus on the negative in the world. Yeah, I agree with that. Lori says, I used to pray for him and others, and it felt like my life was going wonky. I changed my thought pattern and started praying for knowledge to grow from this. Yes. Yeah. I feel that it takes a sad man to have over a dozen online beefs, right? If you look at these other popular online beefs right now, okay, right? Let's look at Hassan Piker, right? He beefs with two people mainly two people. Hassan Piker mainly beefs with Ethan Klein and Asmongold, right? You look at Asmongold, mainly has two beefs, right? He's in a lawsuit with Mizkif, and he beefs with Hassan Piker. Ethan Klein, well, Ethan Klein is Ethan Klein. He has a few more, but he's been working on mending bridges, right? He really has been working on mending bridges. But now if you look at this YouTuber has seriously like 9 or 10 journalists and YouTubers who he is trying to simultaneously engage in a fencing battle, an online fencing battle, right? So if you don't fence back, he steamrolls, right? And I'm at the point where it's like, dude, you already flattened me, bro. You've been punching down on me for over a year, right? 2 years. He's been seriously punching down. First he mocked, right? First he mocked that this is back in 2023. First he mocked that he got me 2 strikes and I had to privatize all my content. And at that time it was like 12 years worth of content, right? And he mocked me because I had 12 years worth of content and I wasn't partnered. So he mocked me about that. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, you're punching down on a channel who's not even partnered, right? Who does that? Who punches down on somebody who, in your opinion, shouldn't even be worthy to lick your boot. But you do. But you claim there's no gain to it, then why do it? But you claim you're a businessman. So tell me how it's good for business to punch down on a small channel and why would you do it if there's no business gain from it, right? I could go on and on, guys. I'm sorry. Miss Lori says Asmongold is quite the character. I like him. I watch him. The politics guys. Like, do I watch politics streamers? Yes, yes, I do. But I watch left streamers, right streamers. I would say I fall in the middle. To be honest with you, I if anything, I consider myself a libertarian. But it bothers me when some people watch streamers that are either left or right and don't even bother to hear both sides, which goes back to this whole ordeal, right? There are people who are choosing this side or that side and are not thinking for themselves and absorbing both sides and doing their research and formulating their own opinion. And hell, maybe that's why they don't have YouTube channels. They'd rather be told what to think than tell people what they're thinking. As long as the minions are cheering the master, he will continue. How long can that go on for, though, Smoking D? How long, Smoking D? I'm sorry.
LOL.
That name.
LOL.
That's a good screen name. That's a good handle. Smoking D. I don't think it can go on for too much longer. This, in my opinion, and again, everything I say on this stream is my opinion. At some point, he implicates his own viewers. And that can't be good. Super day. Harley's awesome, John. That's the other thing, right? So I've said this several times. Have I had issues with Michelle? Yeah. Have I had issues with John? Yeah. Am I a human being? Yeah. Do friends fight? Most definitely. Most definitely. You would be the fakest MFer if you never disagreed with your friends. If you never felt wronged by your friends. You would be fake. You would be either on Xanax and completely emotionless, or you'd be fake. So yeah, I've had issues with all of them, right? But one thing that's fact. Let's just speak fact here, right? That family has had over 40 visits from CPS. And I'm just throwing a number out there. John can correct what I'm saying, right? This family, and I call them a family because, in my opinion, they are a family unit. This is America. Family units look different. Some have two moms, some have a mom and dad, some have a mom and a John, some have Peter and Paul, some have an Adam and Steve. I can't judge that. It's not my job to judge people's family structures. But that is a family structure. And it's known that they've had well over 30 CPS visits. And absolutely every single one of them has not found any wrongdoing. That's a fact. But when you bring that fact up, it's like, but this. It's like, no buts. That's what it is. Leave the family alone. Leave the family alone. And I'll be honest, I'm not making a penny for saying that. That's how I feel in my heart. That's not me grifting. That's how I feel. Now, would I feel completely wronged and ashamed and horrible if something changed in that department and something fuck yeah. Yeah, because then I vouched for somebody and then they can say, "Yeah, I told you so," but that doesn't give them rights to keep trying to catch somebody up in this. Let the family be. Stop trying to affect outcomes in a family. Their life, this child's livelihood, it's not content. It's a life. And like Linda just said, fact is we have issues with others at times. Even those we love, the most are the closest to you. True. True. You know, John just said in chat 42 visits they've had. 42 visits. Harley's still there. But I'm stupid when they're the ones. The story says, Linda, it was weird. I tried to watch again and I couldn't more than 5 minutes. No original content. Wow. Begging, lying, zero positivity. So done even trying. And that's a real review. That's a review. And it's funny you talk about the lying and zero positivity. I think something that also speaks, guys, to that is authenticity, right? And this is something I've struggled with for a really, really long time. And when I was first starting in YouTube, I struggled to be authentic, right? I struggled with my authenticity. I was trying to be somebody I wasn't, right? I was trying to play the YouTube game. I was trying to be, Mr. Tough Guy. I was trying to be the badass, right? I was trying to be a heel. In the wrestling business, it's called being a heel. I wanted to be disliked. I I wanted to play a character. I thought YouTube was all about characters. I thought to be popular on YouTube, you have to play a character. And let's be real. People laughed at me. I wasn't authentic. I wasn't real. And I didn't get you guys watching my channel until I just dropped the shtick, right? So what I want to show you guys right now, these are two popular YouTubers who you're looking at right now in a crazy freeze frame. That is AJ Gentile, right? And AJ Gentile, he is the host of the YouTube channel, The Y Files. Do any of you guys know who AJ Gentile or what The Y Files are? Basically, it's a show that does like conspiracies, science, unexplained phenomenon. And they seriously are the kings of that niche on YouTube right now. And AJ he doesn't do many interviews. He doesn't. But he was on on another podcast that I thoroughly enjoy, right? He was on the Sean Ryan show. And I'm a huge fan of Sean Ryan's interviewing skills. I love this man, and I've learned so much about him from technique and how to interview somebody. And I continue to monitor him and people watch him so I can pick up tricks for interviews, right? Miss Lori says, watched AJ and the interview about anxiety and depression. Very good. Exactly. So that's what I wanted to play this little clip, guys, right? And I wanted to react to it with you guys. And this is where AJ speaks not only about being on the spectrum, but about how he felt he needed to play the YouTube game at first. And he wasn't catching any traction until he dropped the shtick. And this spoke to me, right? This is positivity. This is what YouTubers need to be broadcasting and being real, authentic. And you can even hear Sean Ryan. He'll say something like, people are afraid to be authentic. So check this out, guys, and we'll react as it plays.
I'm going to say something really embarrassing now. I created an AI therapist, and I did something maybe unwise. I loaded everything I've ever written, text messages going back to 1999, all of it, and I asked it to create a personality profile. Reading it, I started to cry, revealing things I had never known before, because it was like, now I understand. I must be in a coma. I hope I don't wake up. I suffer from loss aversion. Whenever I have something, I'm worried that it's going to be taken away.
You still feel like you're a scrappy little channel?
I do, and I feel like every day it's gonna go away, and the numbers we're plateauing. It's constant.
I feel the same way.
Now, first of all, there are some creators out there who say views don't matter. These are two of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, right? And you can hear them right now talking about how views consume their mind. So for any creator, right, that tells you they don't worry about views, quite frankly, they are full of poop.
Yeah.
It's constant.
Endless discussions with the team on, we're declining, we're plateauing, it's over, they're going to censor us.
Enjoy your painting.
And it's so not over for you. And my last video is the best performing one in the history of the channel. So, okay, maybe we can still do this a little longer. But when I started the channel, the plan was to do science videos and then the weird ones that I liked and try to balance it. And all the YouTube consultants said, you got to skew young, high energy, smash that like. So my earlier videos my first video was about math. And then, I did top 10 lists, like 10 weirdest animals, dangerous places, scariest things, like everyone was doing. And it was like, hey, hit that like, I'm doing this. This is my energy. This is who I am. And it wasn't who I was, and nobody's watching this. No one was responding to it, and it didn't feel right anyway. I just felt like this is the performance they say to do, and I just started to get frustrated. And I guess about a year and a half in, and 60, 70 episodes, I just said, I'm going to just do what I want to do. I'm going to make the show that I would want to watch. And you know what? The biggest response I'm getting from the audience are people my age, 40s and 50s. So I'm just going to lean into Gen X. Just be authentic and just tell the stories that I like.
And essentially that's what I did. I went through a big ordeal on my channel where I made some wrong friends on YouTube, or who people were telling me were the wrong friends. Turned out they weren't the wrong friends. It's nobody's job to tell me who to be friends with and who not to be friends with on the internet. And I didn't get any, even though my channel is extremely small compared to these guys. I mean, I seriously went from 100 views max on a video on my commentary videos. Wrestling videos were different, but on my commentary videos, I went from like 100 views max when I was being an asshole to seriously 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000 views when I started being authentic. People can see through that, right? The viewer can see through that. They can totally tell when you are not being authentic, or when your motivation is something other than the content, right? When somebody is strictly money motivated, that comes through clear as day. Rape says some people are rabid dogs. They bite anything that moves and can't ever be trusted under any conditions. I know a few people like that, Ray. I definitely do. And I've learned, that's the thing, is you learn through YouTube. Nobody starts out being the best YouTuber ever. Like, it's just the chances of people putting out their first video and becoming a YouTube success are slim to none. Seriously, they're almost astronomical. You find that people who have been in the game longer and have suffered and have learned the game are the ones who know how to avoid the pitfalls. While I still find myself in the, what do they call it? Not the foxhole. But while I still find myself in the pit from time to time, I'm learning to sidestep. I am learning to sidestep. But AJ spoke to authenticity, and that really spoke to me. You have to be authentic. You absolutely have to be authentic.
And then that's when it happened.
I love that, man.
I mean, that's so, if there's creators watching you, which there are, my advice is just be yourself, be authentic, be raw, just let all the wounds show. Like I was telling you at breakfast on the Wi Files backstage, there's videos of me crying, talking about depression. I just own it. Just own it.
Man, you're like one of the only people I've ever heard that does this.
No.
I do it. I do it. You guys have probably all seen me. I mean, I get mocked for it nonstop. But that's me. I'm being authentic. I'm being myself. I care. And I think you guys respect that, right? You guys respect that I can come to you and tell you, "Hey, I'm emotionally having a hard time." I can come to you and tell you about times in my past that I'm not proud of. I wear it. It speaks more about the people that try to arm that and weaponize that instead of just saying, "Wow, that person really is just being honest and raw with their viewers."
Yeah, man. Are you kidding me? People are scared to death of authenticity. They're scared to death of authenticity and being vulnerable. And
You guys know any YouTubers that are afraid to be vulnerable? Do you guys know any YouTubers that are afraid to say, "Hey, I overreacted," or "Hey, I could have handled that situation differently," or "Maybe I should have zigged when I zagged"? I think Sean Ryan's speaking to a bunch of YouTubers in this. Shadow work, Miss Lori calls it.
I've talked to countless people that, that want to start a YouTube. I love helping people. I mean, that's what this show kind of developed into what it is I just wanted to help people.
Me too. Me too. When I decided to be authentic and start speaking more about my mental health and my past with addiction and all of that, right? When I said, "Okay, we're going to talk about the past. We're going to talk about mental health." I did it not because I wanted sympathy, pity, or anything of that, right? I wanted it for that neurodivergent kid sitting at home with their PlayStation controller or Xbox or keyboard in their hands, or whether it's an adult who's neurodivergent or going through the same thing, right? To say, "Wow, for this guy, right, to stand up here and make a YouTube video." And honestly, he's working on his quality. He's working on his presentation. He's working on his speech. He's working on everything. And he's being real, right? For him to say all that, I just couldn't, that's what my hope was for somebody to think, "Hey, I can do this too." I wanted to help people.
Bring exposure to everything from corruption to where it really started was I just got tired of like veterans not being able to get a business going because nobody would give them exposure. And that's how it started, man, was bringing exposure to veteran businesses through their journeys of vulnerability, to be authentic. And it worked. But I think that, you can tell people, be authentic, be vulnerable. They can't do it.
It's hard to let down the guard. It certainly was for me as a lifelong performer. You're always doing a performance. Even if in your normal life you have certain characters or traits that you emphasize more with your buddies, that when you're with your wife. There's kind of different roles that you play.
John Cook just said, "Dave, we like you because you're real." Thank you, John. That is one thing that I don't want anybody to ever say that man is as fake as the day is long. I don't want that. I'd rather somebody say, "Yeah, is the man overly emotional?" Sure. Yeah, he's overly emotional. But one thing he's not is he's not fake. Because I've got comments where people called me out about being fake. And I know fake YouTubers. And I know YouTubers who present like they're tough on camera, but then they have chats with their buddies, be it backstage, and the stuff that they're acting tough about is what hurts them the most. And they let it known when their guard's down with their friends. But when that green light or red light is turned on, boy, it doesn't affect them. People see through that. They definitely see through that.
So it's kind of hard. It's difficult to let down that guard. But what I started to,
How did you know? I mean, what hit you, especially coming from entertainment? I mean, everything's fake. The main media is fake. The news channels are fake. They're all bought. They all have, politics is fake. Movies, for a long time, I think people didn't realize how much propaganda is inserted into mainstream media. Hollywood movies, and until they went overboard, and then everybody kind of figured it out. And I'm with everybody else. I didn't have any inclination that it was all
Yeah, I can speak to the propaganda. I think we all can speak to the propaganda.
bullshit until everybody else started talking about it. But yeah, I'm just curious. I mean, they're scared to death of authenticity, and now, so how did you, especially coming from there and all the fakeness and all the bullshit moving? I mean, what hit you that it was like, just be authentic?
so I suffer from anxiety and depression, but not severely. I'm a little medicated for it, but not heavily. Like I'm high functioning.
Me too.
I'm on the spectrum, but I'm high functioning.
Same. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If AJ Gentile, who is anxiety ridden, depression diagnosed, and highly functioning on the spectrum, I am all of those. And I look at him saying this as, if he can do it, so can I. If that isn't a message of positivity, what is? We were speaking earlier about positivity and how everything is so negative lately, right? What we need is more people like AJ Gentile and Sean Ryan who are saying, hey, I did this and I'm successful. So keep at it, because you can do it too.
I'm very uncomfortable talking about myself, very uncomfortable being the center of attention. I'm the guy at the party hiding in the corner.
Cat Lady, this is, I mentioned it at the beginning, but I'll get you up to speed real quick. That is AJ Gentile. He is the host of a very popular multi-million subscriber YouTube channel called The Y-Files. The Y-Files basically focus on conspiracies, mysteries, science, and unexplained phenomenon. And very popular. But he didn't start out popular. He grew and he grew and he grew. And he started out just like my channel. And he didn't notice a shift in his channel until he started becoming authentic. And he is getting interviewed right now by Sean Ryan. And Sean Ryan is ex-CIA, Navy SEAL, and he runs a multi-million subscriber platform where he does the Sean Ryan podcast.
So my outlet would be to perform, to do voice work, be a character, be on stage, be an actor.
I like this quote. Miss Lori just asked me in chat. We'll come back to this, but I got to answer Miss Lori here. Miss Lori said, Dave, being neurodivergent, how does one describe authenticity? I'm asking for myself. I'm still asking myself that. I can't speak for you, but I can speak for me. I decided when I turn the camera on, I'm not going to mask. I'm not going to mask. Is there some things I will not talk about? Sure. But I'm not going to be ashamed if I cry. I'm not going to be ashamed if I have an emotional outburst. I'm not going to be ashamed, because a lot of my issues deal with shame and embarrassment. And for me, when I made the choice to say, I'm going to stop masking and I'm going to be who I am privately or to some of my closest loved ones, I know I'm doing it right. Me talking to you right now from my heart, telling you what I do, is me being authentic. The tears running down my eyes right now is me being authentic. Not masking, because I do that all day long. And people don't understand how exhausting masking can be. That's how I feel on that.
Because then the lines are prepared for you. Even if you're doing stand-up, you've already written it. So you have control. I have control, even though I'm putting myself out there. I know what the words are. I know what comes next. I know what I'm doing right and wrong.
Hey, G Sky.
So to be authentic, that all goes away. And it's like, I don't know what I'm going to say next. As I'm sitting here now, I don't know what I'm going to say next.
Same.
But I think it was when I started talking to my community, which I would call a community more than an audience, but like the people that really supported me since the beginning. I just started engaging with them through live streams.
Same.
And like with our Patreon live streams, fans turn their cameras on, like we all talked together. And I found myself just opening up because maybe because they were fans, they were just excited to hear from me, but it became almost like a therapy for me. Like I could tell these people anything. They're not judging me.
How many times, guys, have people like Guapo or myself tell you that you as viewers helped me through some of my tough time? I know Guapo personally says that his chat is his therapy. And this community, the besties, right? They help me so much. And they can help each other. And I've seen it happen. I've seen community members helping other community members, and it becomes easier to let your facade and your guard down, right? You know, I'm not in this for anything other than fulfillment, right? Would it be awesome to be a success? Sure, absolutely. But you guys mean so much to me. The viewers mean so much to me, right? And you heard AJ there speak about how he does his chats, right, on Zoom or whatever he said, and they all turn on their cameras, right? So when I offered for the membership for the besties, right, like I want to be able to have chats with the besties and have them come on stream with me and talk with me and do all this stuff with me, right, and all this stuff, right? Most people are excited for that and they want to do that, and it encourages them to become a member. The haters, of course, try to weaponize that. It just speaks to the difference, right? The difference in authenticity. And it speaks to, in my opinion, good versus bad. Good would say, hey, that sounds cool. Or not for me. Bad says, I'm going to deter and make every other people think this is stupid and tell them how stupid they are and how it's not worth it and this, and that, right? So that's how I feel about that. The chat, the community helps people and it helps build your channel. It really does. As long as you nurture that community in a positive way. If you are moving your community in a positive direction and moving for good, like Lisa with her community and how she is always moving towards a project for good or doing good or helping somebody, that is a community doing something for good, right? But when you use your community to attack, malign, and do horrible stuff, not saying anybody specific is doing that, right? I'm not saying that. But there have been instances in the past of creators who have misused their community. That's not right, and that is a misuse of your community. Your community can be extremely nurturing, helpful, and supportive, or they can be weaponized. I see what do we got here in the chat? Let me just read it. Smoking D.
LOL.
Smoking D says, in my honest opinion, authenticity depends on if the audience sees the person as being authentic. Now, I'm not saying you're not because I believe you are. There are some people who use authenticity to their advantage. Yes, I can agree with that. I can yeah, I can agree with that, but usually if you're not naive, you can tell, you know. If yeah, you should if you're an adult and let's be honest here, uh my viewership skews 35 and older. Um if you can't really tell authenticity by 35, something to work on. Cat Lady says, I am what you see. I am what I am. I am not a fake person. People don't see me cry behind the screen for other comments or ignore. If it makes it. I agree. I completely agree with you, Cat Lady. I see what you're saying. I think at times I've confused authenticity by not expressing myself in situations honestly. I am naive at times. It's cool that you realize that though. That shows that you at least do introspection and you have the ability to look at your actions from an outside perspective. That's a good thing. And it gives you something to work on, you know? Little Bit says, "Hello, Super Dave. Hello, Little Bit." Let's just watch a little bit more of this, guys. And basically, I found this fascinating to see two very, very, very popular YouTube creators talking about authenticity, being real, and dropping shtick. And when they did that, they found success. That's cool to me because I get so many people tell me I should do this, I should do that, I should be way more energetic in my videos and be bubbly and this and that and don't show emotion and this and that. And from two of the biggest YouTubers right here, they're telling you the exact opposite. Coast says, I'm just an old fart concerned for the planet. That's concerned planet steak, and I love that. And that's authentic. That's an authentic take.
There's always going to be the assholes in the comments, but for the most part, it was like, hang in there. I'm going through the same thing. What you're doing is important. It was very encouraging.
That's what you guys tell me. Hang in there. You're doing okay. Come back when you're ready. Take a mental health break. That's a good community. And I hope you guys see how that becomes wanting to nurture that and wanting to grow that becomes top priority as opposed to money or anything like that,
Eventually the wall just comes down. And now when I live stream, you just don't know what I'm going to, Jen gets nervous. She'll hear me going into a direction. She's like, I don't think I'm
I can relate to that too, because I have some people that I talk to behind the scenes, right? And they worry for me. They look out for me and they tell me, hey, you really don't want to talk about this. Leave this alone. Don't touch this. Don't do this. And I bet you every single time I hit that go live button, they're cringing and biting down. Like, what is he going to say? That's authenticity. And it's being a big mouth. Let's be real here. It's being a big mouth. Marla Hughes. Hey, Marla. I missed you, Marla. And I did mention that hopefully we can do an interview with Marla, because Marla's got a lot to say. Nobody's ever heard from Marla. It's funny that these people make all these assumptions, and people are here. I'm available for interviews all the time. Marla has been available for interviews since 2023, but nobody's asked no journalists, reporters, YouTubers, content creators have asked for our side of the story or asked for our evidence or asked for anything like that. It's fascinating. But yeah, guys, check this out. This is on the Sean Ryan podcast. It's his interview with AJ Gentile. and they just dive into everything YouTube and success and depression and anxiety and how views can really get you happy, sad. You can start chasing the algorithm. It's an amazing interview, guys. And Sean Ryan, I love Sean Ryan's interview style. Do I like his politics? Not always. Do I like him as a person? Not always. But do I find him to be a compelling interviewer? Oh yeah, he's good. And he has this way of letting the interview breathe, right? And it's not awkward, but it kind of is awkward. It's such an awesome whenever he interviews anybody, it's so good. And I was gonna also touch on his Sean Ryan's interview with Father Chad Kerberger, and he's an ordained Catholic exorcist. He's like top of his field in the United States. He started, he's got a brotherhood, Dolan Brotherhood, Fatherhood, something or other, and they speak to everything. But I don't think that's gonna fit in this stream, so we'll probably do a separate stream about that. Lisa is in chat. Lisa, I spoke about your stream earlier, and I said, and this is for any of you guys who missed my stream earlier or missed the beginning of the stream. I said, I can't speak to the laws in Florida, but the sheer fact when I went through your stream and you said that you are now questioning whether a YouTuber has somebody pointing objects through your walls listening to you shows how mentally distressed this has you. It has you feeling harassed, stalked to the point where you are questioning whether somebody is listening through your walls for YouTube content and whatnot. In Wisconsin, that's enough alone for a protective order. The sheer fact that he has you questioning these things and has it in your mind that he's doing this stuff shows malicious intent. So I felt so bad when I heard you say that, because I know that feeling. I know that feeling of every time you step outside and you're looking and like, okay, who's this? What's this? Is this gonna get back? When I'm going through the aisles at Walmart, is God forbid if I buy this chocolate milk, am I gonna get made fun of on YouTube? It's crazy. I can only speak to Wisconsin state laws, but the sheer fact that you are feeling watched, intimidated, and afraid in Wisconsin is enough for harassment, cyber stalking, and everything. And like I said, while I feel that way, I have not filed anything yet with the police because I just want this to stop. I just want this to stop. I want my loved ones to be left alone. I want it to. I'm hoping, like I said, I pray for that man every night that he just finds peace. So we'll see where it goes. But I really felt for you when you said that, Lisa. The sheer fact that you're thinking that you're being spied on because a YouTuber's made videos online saying he's spying on you is enough. Good morning, Lisa. Love you, Ray, Super Dave, as you all are very authentic. Yes, that is the word of the day today, everybody. Authenticity is the word of the day. Positivity is the word of the day. Yeah, Lisa just said, he said he has people watching all of us. Exactly. And I spoke to that earlier in my stream. I didn't want to earlier in my stream, Lisa, I made it seem like it's crazy to think that. But normal people who are not being stalked and harassed normally don't think people are spying on them through the walls, right? Most normal people who are not under stress and scrutiny and all this stuff don't need to worry about that. The sheer fact that somebody is making you think this way due to their actions is strictly harassment, in my opinion, and that they're getting off on it, and they're making videos talking about how they're getting off on it. It's crazy to me. It was a very strange the top. I can imagine because, like I said, I've had moments like that as well. I've had moments like that as well. And the sheer fact that some of us have simply had to stop engaging with our viewers, our supporters, our fans for the sheer fact that we can't be certain that they're not uh quote unquote moles because this person tells everybody that all of our people in our life that we talk to are his moles. That should say something that this man is controlling our lives in a way like, hey, I can't even talk to this person and feel safe talking to this person. It's crazy. G Sky says, I enjoyed going to Summerfest. The fireworks after a long day were wonderful. Yes. I haven't been to Summerfest in quite some time. I heard that they stopped doing fireworks. Yeah, did they stop doing them on the 4th? I got to remember what, but I know Summerfest doesn't do fireworks every night anymore, I don't think. But yeah, it's the best part about Wisconsin. Marla says, I'm harder to watch because my neighbor's friends are all aware of what's going on and alert. That's cool. You know, the, the sheer fact that any of us are even worrying about this speaks to the fact of being stalked, right? The sheer fact that any of us even have to worry about not being safe in our place of residency, where privacy is presumed, you have a reasonable expectation of privacy, and when you are left feeling like that is being violated and you are being watched, speaks to harassment, in my opinion. It speaks to stalking, in my opinion. When somebody feels the need to put out bounties for information, when they've hired a private investigator that's their sole job to do that, speaks to that. Lisa said he is stalking me through the sheriff too. I've heard you mention some stuff like that, and I I I I pray for that man. I pray for him. He's good at trying to divide friends. It seems that way. I missed something from Ray. What did Ray say? My stalker is in this town, has been identified by my neighbors, and is real. The local authorities have said they will keep my place on the watch list. The sheer fact that people like us are having to do things like that is insane. It's insane, right? Like, it's insane. Yes, he calls for FOIA requests on my address. But then complains when I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. When he has no knowledge of incidents. Wow. Wow. Richard just filed a motion in Fed 2. Could somebody send that to my public email, please? Wow. Wow. Sorry, guys. I'm just speechless. I'm speechless by this. Literally speechless. When is too much too much? When is too much too much? Multiple states, multiple people feel victimized. When is too much too much? When can this stop? That's crazy. That's crazy, guys. Ray has somebody stalking him. He feels like he's being stalked. Whether that person says they're stalking him or not, Ray feels stalked. Lisa feels stalked, harassed. I feel harassed and stalked. 3 separate states. Lisa says he was an idiot to even speak of it. I was told he mentioned it in chat yesterday, but the fact that he mentioned it and he did it on his live, he is stalking and harassing, and it's malicious. Yeah. There's everything, in my opinion, is malicious. Didn't he say something? You said it on your stream yesterday that he's enjoying freedom and working to take yours away. Isn't that using the courts? Isn't that like trying to use the justice system as a weapon? Isn't that illegal? I just watched a video, right, of some lady who got arrested for misuse of emergency services, right? So what happens if I don't know. I don't know. Richard joined my request. Nice. YouTuber is a grifter. He will purposely offend you, and when you respond, he claims he is the victim. Yeah. Yeah. And I, Patrick, it's funny you say that, right? And it goes back to the fact that the people that are covering this from his perspective, right, have never once reached out to me, right? None of them have asked for any of the content I've ever mentioned about him, which goes back now 2023, I believe. I think the statute of limitations on anything that was even said in those, not that any of it was defamatory or anything, but any statute of limitation on it has passed. And it's crazy to me that none of them have ever asked to interview me, asked me for what I've said, asked me for anything, right? They just take people's word and think that's content creation, right? Meanwhile, they're telling me I'm guilty because I said this and I said that. And they're saying way worse about me and other YouTubers. So by your logic, if what I said makes something credible, what you're saying puts you at risk in harm's way too, because what you're saying is way worse. And if that's the case, what you're doing is illegal. Or not illegal, it's a tort or whatever. These people aren't, and they're so quick to call people names and stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me just see if I can. Hold on here, guys. Let me see if I can pull this up. Sorry. I know it's dead air. I apologize. Why don't you want to work for me? Oh, here we go. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, too much. All right. Defendant Richard Luthman, a non-lawyer. I like his opening here. Unskilled in the science of law. I like that. Defendant Richard Luthman appearing pro se, especially here while he gives notice of his full support for co-defendant Lisa Lee's motion for judicial notice. Mr. Luthman had independently intended to file a similar motion seeking same relief as evidenced by his local 7-1 conferral. Yeah. Attached as Exhibit A, yes. And February 21st, Exhibit B, rather than burden the court with duplicative filings, yes. And risk of fueling the defendants, yes. Have identified as ongoing Palamop campaign. Mr. Luthman has elected not to file a separate motion. He instead joins in Lisa Lee's motion. So it's a joinder. He filed a joinder. And Lisa Lee's motion, incorporate herein. All right. I wonder if I should file a joinder. The file, February 15th in Hales, YouTube live stream and transcript are proper subjects of judicial notice. Yeah, that's the rule. Yeah. For you guys, it says the judicial must take notice. Not that he can take notice, that he must take notice, I believe is what it says. Broadcast to hundreds of thousands. Yeah. Look at the footnote. Dude made a footnote of. Oh my.
LOL.
A footnote about Polymop. Polymop refers to several acronyms. One is plaintiffs originated litigation and media orchestrated protocol. I'm sorry. Oh boy. Whew. Polymop refers to plaintiff Jeremy's apparent strategy of flooding the docket with filings primarily to generate content for his YouTube channel and social media audience. In practice, the network of collaborators repeatedly publicize each court filing. They do. And I'm just reading it, guys. I'm not. You guys mentioned this live on air, so I just said I'll pull it up. Solely to preserve transparency under these unusual circumstances. Yes. Not to circumvent proper channels. Okay. Given that the YouTuber can instantaneously broadcast salaciously allegations via YouTube before Mr. Luthman. I know that's been an issue, that people emailing the judge or something. And I've seen stuff like about that, and they're saying they're doing it so everything's transparent. And I can understand that. And in my layman opinion, I don't find it to be ex parte. I believe ex parte, according to the actual rules, is one piece of conversation that both parties are not getting. It has to go to all parties. In my layman opinion, which is all I can give, is how did he say that? My unskilled opinion in the science of law. I don't believe it's ex parte. I believe it is defendants not wanting bullshit to make it into the mouth of the court system. In the live stream, the YouTuber made several statements directly relevant to this case, including and striking declaration that Fed 2 is just the beginning. The defendants will have me in their lives forever. Yeah, I made a song about that and how it affected me. If you guys go back to the beginning of the stream, that whole opening song was about how this line affected me. The man wished years and days and decades of sleepless nights on me for commentary and criticism. But I've been sleeping great. Cortisol levels have never been lower, to be quite honest. Such statements openly made by plaintiff on public platform are not subject to reasonable dispute as their existence. Yada. Yeah, it's right there in the open. It cannot be questioned. Boy, Richard's motions cover everything. Wow. Case law, case law, case law, case law. 11th Circuit Authority. Case law again. Wow. Case law. That's federal rules of evidence. Excuse me. Yeah, it does. It mandates judicial notice when properly requested. What did I miss here? Yeah, this is Richard's. For those of you guys who know, I guess Richard had just filed a motion to join Lisa Lee's motion.
Thanks for the sub.
Welcome. Steven Vlogs, welcome. Sorry, guys. I know I'm not reading this. Importantly, Mr. Luthman and Miss Lee do not ask the court to assume that anything Mr. Hales said in the video was true. Very important. Jeremy's not under oath when he makes YouTube videos. Lisa's not under oath when she makes any YouTube videos. You're not under oath when you put something on YouTube. But what it can speak to is it can speak to malicious intent. It could speak to wanting to inflict emotional distress. The validity, honesty of it is irrelevant, to be honest. The fact is it was said, and because of that, emotional things have occurred. The purpose requested judicial notice after is not to prove that the truth of the plaintiff's utterances, but that establish the fact that plaintiff uttered them. Exactly. And it was on a public forum. Yep. Look at this. More case law. How many cases did Richard cite in this? Wow. Plaintiffs' on-record statements are highly relevant to show improper purpose and vexatious conduct. Wow. Own words, once judicially noticed, have significant legal relevance. Repeatedly raised concerns about harassment and abusive process in this case. You guys, if you watched from the beginning of this, you've heard me speak about feeling harassed and stalked. You've heard Lisa speak about feeling harassed and stalked. You've heard Ray talk about feeling harassed and stalked. Interesting. Yeah. You've heard me mention the report and recommendation. Mr. Hale's response was not to reconsider his claims, but to publicly vow to keep suing, so his targets will have me end their lives forever. Such an announcement strongly supports the interference that the plaintiff is pursuing this litigation and threatening future litigation for purposes of intimidation, retaliation, or self-aggrandizement. Look at his vocabulary. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. I thought I had a good sound effect for that, but I guess I don't. That's crazy. Wow. Sorry, guys. I feel like it's taking me forever to read.
2 hours later.
YouTuber recorded a promise that this lawsuit is just the beginning of his campaign and his opponents will never be rid of his litigation. It's a stark admission of vexatious intent. Yep. Wow. By taking judicial notice of the February 15th video. Wow, look at all this case law. And the funny part is that Shockett's going to have to check all this case law and then bill for it. Right? Wow. Sorry, guys. I'm I'm consumed by this. because now people think that. Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, to this day, he cannot prove that Michelle or John stalked him. What I'll say, guys, is from what I understand from listening to streams, is he was asked several questions during the court case and said he didn't have his folder with him. He wasn't prepared or something, right? But he was prepared enough for 3, 4 weeks leading up to the court date to make videos nonstop and to claim they're going down and this, and that. He was prepared enough to make all that content, right? He was prepared enough to make all those public statements, but he wasn't prepared enough to bring the evidence that would bring them down. He wasn't prepared enough, didn't have the wherewithal to say, "Hey, I'm going to court and there's a lot on the line here for me. So maybe I should bring my flash drive, my folders, my never mind. I'm not even going to say it." Don't apologize, Dave. We all love to see this. Read the conclusion, Dave. Okay, hold on. Conclusion. For the foregoing reasons, defendant Richard Luthman fully supports and joins in on Lisa Lee's motion for judicial notice. He respectfully requests that the court grant the motion in its entirety, thereby taking judicial notice of the February 15th YouTube live stream video featuring the plaintiff for limited and appropriate purpose of establishing the fact that plaintiff made the statements therein on that date. Such relief will avoid duplicative filings, serve the interest of justice, and help curtail further abuse of judicial process. Mr. Luthman further requests that any additional relief that the court deems just and proper in connection with this joinder. So it was a joinder, yep. And there's a certificate of service. Yeah, seems like maybe I should file a joinder. I don't know. I don't know if I need to with both of them, but I'll publicly say it here. I fully support this, and I do feel the judge needs to be made aware of that. I really feel that way. Did it affect me as hard as it would have before I was in a proper mental state? I just shook my head at this time. I just shook my head, and all I could be like was,
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
That's all I could. His mission failed to make me have more sleepless nights. I think I sent Lisa a picture of me, and I think I posted it on my community page. I'm getting great sleep now. I am. I'm sleeping great. I don't want to play games, dude. And I don't want to play games. I don't want to tit for tat. I don't want to. I want to engage with my community. I want to talk about AJ Gentile and Sean Ryan. I want to talk about this Exorcist video I watched. 4-hour-long interview with an exorcist that I thoroughly dove into and created talking points and everything, which I'm going to stream about next time I stream. So if you guys aren't into demonology and exorcism and stuff like that, you might not want to watch my next stream, because I'm going to be reacting to Sean Ryan's interview with Father Chad Ripperger. So I'm really excited for that stream, because they said some crazy stuff in that interview. But congratulations to Richard. I think that's appropriate. Lisa, I thought your motion was appropriate. I think Lisa did notice that she was gonna. I think there was something filed in the courts, like saying that Lisa didn't meet and confer or whatever. But I think she did, because I believe I was forwarded something like that or CC'd on it, so I knew that this motion was going to be going in. So I witnessed it. I witnessed the email about meet and conferring on this motion. So I don't know what kind of games are being played. I really don't. It is what it is. Bearded Fisherman says, Sean Ryan's awesome, Dave. Yeah, I love him. I love his interview. Let me recorrect that. I love his interviewing style. Lisa even says it. Yes, I did confer. He lied. Yeah, I know about lies. Trust me, I know about lies. And the emotional toll it takes on all of us. You guys heard Lisa yesterday say, she just seems drained. It's causing health problems for a lot of us. A lot of us are having health issues. You know, a big YouTuber is not the only person who's on blood pressure medication, I assure you. Yeah, it was CC'd to the judge. Yeah, he even I know, I seen a response to it. He responded with something completely different, but acknowledged that he got the email. So I don't understand what his point was. I don't know. I don't know. I don't guys, I'm tripping, guys. You guys got anything you wanna talk about? Because other than that, I'm pretty much tapped for this stream. I've been going now for hour and 56 minutes. Holy cow. Wow. Seriously.
2 hours later.
I've been going hard today. I talk about I guess I've missed you guys. 9:00 AM. I was proud of myself. Helen says, Shockett doesn't care about his career. He's just going to take as much of the YouTuber's money as he can until he is forced to retire. It's a good opinion. And yelled at Lisa for CCing the magistrate. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Good call, Marla. I didn't get that email until like 11 PM. Well, it was 10:15 my time. So it would have been 11 PM your time. Yeah, I got the email that you're talking your confer email was at like 10 PM, and then he gave me till like noon to respond. And I was like, "What kinda, in my opinion, it felt like game playing. It felt like, "Hey, I'm gonna give this guy as little bit of time to research this and research what he's trying to do and give a decent answer to what's going on. Because I have to. I can't just say I agree. I don't. I just. I want to know what the hell's going on. So I research, and I felt by emailing me something at 10 p.m. and telling me I need an answer by noon the next day. That was a shitty thing to do. I understand you don't gotta like me or anything, but as a pro se defendant, at least give me adequate time to understand what's going on, right? That's just how I felt. Yeah, I feel the same way, Marla. I feel the exact same way. I really do. Uh, I like that, Linda. That's a good one. He had no time. He had a deadline. Yeah, but see, that's the thing, though. Like, why is his deadline my problem, right? I felt like I just felt like, man, why give me like seriously such a short amount of I know it wasn't a big motion or anything, but I still needed to understand, hey, this is what he's trying to do. And I had to I to comprehend everything, you have to read it a couple times and I just I thought it was like 10 PM. 10 PM. What if I didn't check my email? I mean, not that it would have just showed that I was unsupportive, I guess, if I didn't respond, but well, Lisa, didn't he say in his motion that Richard agreed? I thought Richard was of no opinion. He doesn't hold an opinion. Yeah, Marla. Yeah, you are usually sleeping. Exactly. I got your joke there on that, Lisa. Dave goes to bed early. What can I say? I'm a morning person. Yes, but if you read Rich's response, that's not true. Man, I'm wondering if I should file a joinder. Sorry, guys. Now you guys got my mind. Now my mind's running a wild. And see, this is the type of stress you deal with in this kind of thing. I should be just sitting here waiting on Judge Hinkle's response. Like, that's really, in my opinion, I'm just waiting on yay or nay from Judge Hinkle, right? Like, I don't know, guys. I want to know what you guys are doing today. What is everybody gonna be doing today? That's a good question to ask. By the way, guys, if you guys could please click the thumbs up for me, that'd be awesome. Then there's Nine Chins and Mo Magic. I used to be until I met Lisa. Oh yeah, she does. She's a night owl for sure. I can't wait to get rid of this Pacer bill. Yeah. Yeah. That guy did a lot of damage in my personal life, that's for damn sure. Whatever. Linda's got to go to work in 4 hours. Oh, sorry, Linda. Hey, Michelle. Oh, I feel sorry for Linda. That sucks. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to hop on, guys. Sometimes I get so overstimulated. Like, I got an email from one of those people that look out for me, right? And it really put me in a foul state this morning, right? Not even foul. It was just like the nerve of these people. The nerve. How are you going to call somebody stupid when you can't even do simple thing of realize a membership currency adjusts according to your country? Like, if you don't know what $4.99 US is in Australian or Canadian dollars, I don't know. I don't know. The stupidity of people. And they call me the stupid one. What am I missing? Oops, an hour after court ended. 40s there. Wow. Wow. I'm so sorry, Miss Preston. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You shouldn't have to be going through this. None of us should have to be going through this. Just for like I said, guys, you look at people like Asmongold and Hassan Piker, iDubbbz, Ethan Klein. You look at YouTubers, right? Do they have snark pages? Sure. Sure. Do some of them have lawsuits? Yeah, they do. Is all their content harassing, stalking, abusive, degrading, demeaning?
Thanks for the dono.
No. Oh, wow. Strictly Corrugated, 1999. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Seriously. Like I said, guys, really helps me a lot. Thank you. Thank you. I I'm exhausted, guys. I imagine Lisa's exhausted. Ray is 81 years old, right? Marla's not a spring chicken. Miss Preston is not a spring chicken, and she's still trying to raise a child. My Ko-fi is in the link is in the description of my videos. Hold on, I think I can get it for you. 1 second, guys. Um, it's just exhausted. All of us feel stalked. We're all exhausted. We thought everything would be done and over with, the report and recommendation, and then hearing, oh, that's just the beginning. It's like emotional warfare, right? It's like somebody is reading Sun Tzu and thinking YouTube commentary is is war, right? YouTube commentary is YouTube commentary, right? And if you really just look at who's saying what, these are all small channels who have, it's punching down, right? Like it, it's punching down. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna post my Ko-fi in the chat. That's my Ko-fi, if you guys needed to know it. Um, I just I feel attacked. I feel stressed. I feel tired. I feel like everything I do is not good enough. But as long as the community here likes it, that's all that matters to me, guys. Um, like I said, all I can do now is just shake my head. And I say that to everybody who asks me how I feel, right? Yeah, I agree with that, Lisa. Um, I just shake my head. I he, you could give a pound of flesh. You could give a pound of flesh, and it wouldn't be enough. You could say, "Leave me alone. You win till the cows come home." And that just pisses people off, pisses him off. I'm going to continue to pray like I've been doing, praying for serenity, praying for peace, praying for peace, praying for understanding. I'm going to continue sitting here, being me, making the content that makes me happy. I feel every time I'm forced to talk about this case. I'm not talking about this right now because I think it's good for views or good for the algorithm, because it's not. I've been working on pivoting my channel elsewhere. So now taking a step back and talking about how I'm feeling about this is just fucking my channel 10 times worse. Seeing Miss Preston in my chat right now, 42 visits. Seeing Richard say he's got somebody stalking him and he had to notify the police about it. Lisa thinks somebody's listening through her walls. Think about that. Whether it's psychological warfare or it's true, right? She's still thinking that way, and she normally doesn't think that way. I've said it so many times in this stream. When is it too much? I said it how many times that the big YouTubers, the Miskiffs, the Asmongold's, the Ethan Kleins, the iDubbbz, the More Pegasus, all the big YouTubers, they don't play this way. So why unless if it's general disdain, hatred, and evilness. I don't wanna play evil games. I don't want to play evil games. I I wanna talk about YouTubers, right? Like channels do, right? Like it's a niche. Reaction content, commentary, it's a thing, right? And I guess some hater channels or whatever, they talk about him and they're like, he comes from the worst niche on YouTube, commentary. He comes from the dirtiest, rottenest niche on YouTube, the commentary community, right? And they're so quick to down the commentary community, right? But does anybody realize that their community has become 10 times worse than the commentary community ever was? The commentary community had rules. The commentary community in general never crossed the real life boundary. There was a boundary there, the IRL line. For those who don't know, IRL means in real life. The commentary community may have crap talked and had blood sports, which we call very heated verbal debates. We called it blood sports. The commentary community may have had that, right? May have been exposés and hit pieces done in the commentary community, but there was an unwritten rule. No kids, no real life. Two things. Their community, who judged the commentary community, has not only violated both the unwritten rules in the commentary community, but have become 10 times worse. So how dare you judge me and where I've came from and all the thousands of creators who have made commentary videos and have done commentary and have represented commentary the best they can. Whether it's got a good reputation or a bad reputation, they have unwritten rules. And your little niche commentary, your little niche community that can't get over 7K views breaks all those rules. Breaks every single thing that online communities stand for. Now, is that because most of them are boomers or Australians or out of country users or whatever? I don't know. But they got people feeling in fear for their safety. They got people feeling stalked. They got people feeling harassed. They got people afraid to make the content they like to make. But they're sure quick to talk about how much money they're making, how much they're profiting, and how great they're having their life at your expense, at their jokes about fucking your life up. They can't wait to talk about how much this is and how much they're making off of your name, off of your business's back. But they're quick to talk about how you did that and it was illegal. But they're doing it too, way worse. But what they're doing is okay. The hypocrisy amazes me. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to engage with these people, right? And I feel like I'm playing into the snark trap, right? These are what snarkers do. And if you guys aren't sure what snark is, I've mentioned it at the beginning of the stream. It's basically haters. It's detractors. It's a big thing on Reddit, snark communities, and it's becoming a problem on YouTube. It really is. Most popular YouTubers have a snark page. And I'm really good normally at just letting these snarkers post their bullshit. I don't read it. I was only told, notify me. I told them, notify me if I need to be made aware of something. Safety reasons, if it's going to screw up my business, if it's going to screw up anything, I need to be made aware of it. And I was emailed something. Meanwhile, I haven't engaged with any of these people ever. I don't engage with them. I want nothing to do with their channels. I've made one video covering their views and statistics. And that's it. I don't make a habit of covering them. I don't want to cover them. I don't want to engage with them. I've cracked a couple of jokes about Mr. Tugglesworth. I've cracked a couple of jokes about Megan Fox in the beginning. And then when I realized how dirty they play in the games that they do, it's like, if you're not going to play fair, why play the commentary game with you? If you're not gonna play according to the normal online commentary rules about criticism and critique, and play that way, and you're gonna go straight real life, this and that. It's like, why play? Just ignore you. It's not gonna help me for views or anything. I just don't want to play. And I don't want to play. And how many times do I have to tell these people, leave me alone? Leave me alone. Let me make my videos about what I find compelling. Whether that's YouTubers, whether that's court actions that are going on in my city or in my country. Hell, if I want to talk about Australian politics, let me talk about Australian politics. You're more than welcome to talk in my comments section. You're more than welcome to engage with me in my comments section. You're more than welcome to come to me and have an open conversation. And that goes to anybody. But when you blindly make up lies and you try to state something that is absolutely asinine and stupid and retarded, and I'm sorry for saying those words, but when it comes to the things that these people are saying, it literally fits in those categories. It literally fits in that box. I've told these people I feel harassed. I've pivoted my content away. I'm still trying, right? I'm only saying this right now because I was sent an email of people trying to do damage to me when I'm over in my little effing corner. I'm in my little hug box, so to speak, making my videos that I enjoy making, not addressing not a damn one of them. Did anybody see me gloat about the court motions that have been filed lately and what was denied and what was dismissed? No. Because I wasn't engaging. The court record can speak for itself. But it's like the more I ignore, the more I let stuff be, they poke and they poke and they poke. Like a YouTuber once said, you're poking the bear. You're going to poke the bear. And they got a reaction out of me. You won. You won. You got a reaction out of me. But I have to let it be known. This isn't my channel. I don't stop dragging me in to nonsense. Stop bringing me in to bullshit. And I'm saying this to these snark pages. I'm saying this to these content creators. I'm saying this to anybody who feels the need to try to joust with me on YouTube. I will not be jousting with you. I will not be playing the commentary critique back and forth with you. I want none of it. Why do you think I haven't been doing live streams? And I've just been uploading videos. Even though my videos get 3 times less views than a live stream gets. I don't want to play the game. Stop trying to break me. Stop it. And I know who these people are who are doing it, and they're butthurt people. They're people who are sad. They are as sad as I once was. They are hurting like I once was. Only they can't do the self-work. They can't work I've done and realize, hey, this is a me problem, not a Dave problem. Why am I trying to bring Dave's day down just because I can't look in the mirror? Just some food for thought, guys. Just some food for thought. I'm sorry for going off on a tangent. I thought we had a nice conversation about the AJ Gentile interview and positivity and authenticity. This is me being authentic. This is me telling you, stop trying to pull me in the ring. Stop trying to force the boxing gloves on me. And stop trying to punch down. I want to stop. I want to stop. This has been going on for 2023, guys, right? May of 2023, I made my first video. It's 2026. Hurt people, hurt people. Amen. Amen. You've heard from multiple defendants in this lawsuit today. You've heard from people who feel like victims because of the actions that somebody is taking. When is enough enough? Forever? Decades? Years? Even that won't be enough for you. When is enough enough, guy? I pray for you. I pray you find peace. I'm always here to talk. I'm always here to hear what you have to say. Only if you're willing to hear what I have to say. This has gone way too out of control. I'm going to say this one last time. And this goes to every snarker, every commentary creator who feels the need to try to bring people down. Look at what you're doing from an outside perspective. See how what you're doing would look like from my perspective. Would you like what you're doing to these people to be done to you? If the answer is no, maybe some self-correction is in order. I try every day to be a better person. Am I always successful? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I'm trying. I'm human. Just as I know these people are human. But remember when we spoke about authenticity earlier? And we spoke about how these people feel that they need to be the hard ass for YouTube views? Fact is any real YouTuber knows it's all a front. And you're playing a character on YouTube. One, I dare you. Show your authentic self. Stop masking. Then we can talk. Sorry, guys. That's basically all I have to say on that. Marla says agreed. Oh, what did Bearded say? Not all hurt people hurt people. Bearded. Bearded, I gotta correct something you said, Bearded. Bearded, you were on a stream with Richard Luthman, right? And they pulled up my picture. And they said, you said that I reached out to you. Richard. Mike, is that true? Or did you reach out to me? Multiple emails? Multiple messages on Facebook to both my personal email and my business email. Did you or Facebook pages, I mean, did not that it record matters to me, right? It does. So it's not a big deal. But I felt like you were trying to make it seem like you were in hot demand and I reached out to you for an interview. When in fact, you reached out to me for friendship and I was like, "Hey, let's do an interview." Right? You got to be careful, bearded. When you're I understand you feel the need to perform. But this goes back to authenticity. The fact is, the truth is you reached out to me. All right, and I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it or anything. There, thank you, bearded. Thank you. I was like, wait a minute. I, I have people who are mad that I don't respond to them, right? Like, I have I have people because I have a hard time talking with my audience personally now. I keep everything in the public basically now. There's a select few people I have private conversations with, and I felt like they were going to get upset because here I am not responding to them, but I'm tracking you down. I felt like it wasn't accurate. So I just wanted to correct the record and let it be known that hey, Bearded reached out to me, and that's how our interview happened. Okay, so sorry, that's all I wanted to say on that. We also pray for them as often as we can. I'm teaching HG to pray for our enemies. I wouldn't even call them your enemies. I would just love thy neighbor. Pray for understanding. Pray for peace. I understand, Bearded. It's just that I got upset, Bearded, because Richard Luthman is a journalist, and he quotes, and once he quotes something, it becomes in the public record, right? And you have to be very careful when you are talking or being a co-host on a show, and you are speaking about allegations and factual stuff and litigation, that you keep things 100% honest or state opinions or anything. You have to say, "Hey, this is my opinion," or "This is a fact." And I felt that the record was being skewed by you saying it's something so small. I know, and I was in such a I did overreact about it when I first seen it, but I've come to realize that there's nothing meant bad about it. That you are still a young content creator like me. We all make mistakes. So yeah. All right, Bearded. Have a good one, bud. Sorry, guys. I didn't. This is why I chose this handle. I love it. Yes, that is the best handle. When I first read it, I was like, "Oh wow." Oh, guys, can you guys believe I've been streaming for 2.5 hours? That's another thing that really upset me, bro. I was gonna do something nice for you, right? I was gonna do something real nice for you that I didn't have to do. And, these type of messages, your 60 emails, uh, it really leaves something, you know I'm not even gonna get into it, Bearded. Um, but what and you can watch the stream where I said I wanted to do something for you. It never happened, and there's a reason for that. Um, so yeah. Yeah. Gotta be careful, Bearded, about what you say, bud. It's okay, Bearded. I'm not tripping about it, Bearded. Uh, I'm just at a point now where it's like, I gotta make sure things are especially when it's coming from a content creator, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Gotta be careful. I'm sorry I'm sorry you got butt hurt, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bearded. I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to fight with you, bud. I just I'm sorry. I I wasn't a fan of that. I wasn't a fan of that. Mm. Mm. Is that true, bearded? Sorry. Sorry, I didn't do a GoFundMe for you, bud. Sorry. I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you, cat lady. The fact is that I told only me that I was thinking I might do a GoFundMe for Bearded to get him a car because everything in chat was, "I need a car, I need a car, I need a car." So I made the mistake of actually telling a couple people, "Hey, I might do this." It never happened, just a thought, but I guess now, according to some people, uh, they're hurt by that. Sorry. I don't even have a car, Bearded. Sorry about that, bud. How's my diet going? Amazing. Amazing. This past week, I'm not gonna lie, I've ate a few more carbs than I should have, but I'm still 361. So I'm doing good. I'm working on it. Um, I don't want to. I don't really want to. Thank you, Lisa. Like I said, I'm not gonna speak on. I'm so thankful to that man. I I don't have one bad thing to say about him, and he enabled me to fix a lot of things in my life. He enabled me to help people that I love who were going through some medical issues and are still going through medical issues, clear some issues up. He allowed me to have broadcast equipment. I can't say a bad thing about that man. I won't say a bad thing about that man. I wish we talked more. That's what I'm gonna say. Was I taken aback by a thought supposedly suddenly becoming a thing? I don't know. A- Apparently, somebody expected something when it was, when you have production meetings, when you're formatting a show and you're like, hey, this would be a good thing to do. This would be a good thing to do. Maybe I might do this. Somehow that became, oh, this is going to be done. And it got back to people and just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. And I'm not going to speak to the reasons why it didn't happen, but most people know Bearded. Most people know how he gets. That's all I got to say about that. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. You know, it's funny, uh people are so quick to count other people's finances, right? They're so quick to count other people's finances. My I'm my business is private. I'm a small business that barely makes enough, doesn't make enough half the time to do even file taxes. So, but I'm gifted or anything. It's nobody's business. It's nobody's business. Yeah, I have nothing but love for that man. I really do. I can't say a bad thing about him. I won't say a bad thing about him. I won't. I can honestly say I wish I heard from him more. Does it hurt me that we don't talk as much as we used to? Yeah. Yeah, it does. Did I ever ask that man for anything? Never. Never. Did he ever put conditions on his gifts? Never. Never. He wanted to improve my life and the life of my loved ones. And he did for a while, he did. Money doesn't heal emotional issues. Not all problems can be solved with money. Health problems can't be solved with money. And it's nobody's business. I'm sorry if anybody felt entitled to a gift. Genuinely. I'm sorry if you were left to feel like you were entitled to something. And I'm not being an asshole. I'm not being a prick. Just, it is what it is, guys. With all that being said, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I love you all. Thank you to everyone who came in today's stream. Thanks for hearing me out. I'll be in touch, guys. I love you. Bye.
Super Dave, slicing through the haze from the depths of drama.